told me, the arrangements are all set for next month. I haven't told anyone, as you suggested, not even the children. It will be such a shock to them to learn their grumpy old mother is once again in love. Aha! Elmer, I have another question for you. Are you in the habit of keeping fires?
Oh no, sir. Not at this time of year. It would make the nights most unbearably hot.
Just as I thought. Thank you, Elmer. It was a question of motives. The American was obviously the prime suspect. The Colonel was the only thing that stood between him and Miss Redgrave. But this modus operandi was different. It was cool, calculated. To sift through the facts and clues.
Conversation instead of outside display. The conversation outside display.
There should be more
Feeding the
blood.
scraps to the dogs.
Venison curry.
Detective, what is the reason for detaining us here this evening? I really must protest.
Hear, hear.
It was my full intention of filing this case with the most speed and efficiency. Indeed, I wish it were that simple. But there is a certain amount of discretion and deliberation involved when you are dealing with a murder. And what's more, the guilty party is in this very room.
What on earth is the meaning of this?
Please, sit down, and I will explain everything. The first clue was the brandy the Colonel had so carelessly spilled under his chair. Indeed, spilled from the very hand with which he shot himself. The answer was the Colonel did not die from a gunshot. No, he died some time earlier. He was poisoned. You all said the Colonel had been acting strange, manic, then depressed, until he retired to his room. There is only one drug I know of that causes such symptoms, a rare drug from America. It was the venison curry that confirmed it. Only a curry could mask the taste of the poison, and unfortunately the poor hounds verified my suspicion. But this did not answer who had killed the Colonel. No, the answer was given to me by the suicide note. That fine forgery was the killer's first mistake. Such a perfect duplication of the Colonel's handwriting and the forging of his signature could have only come from diligent practice. Practice that would leave evidence like this. Here's how it happened. The killer first poisoned the Colonel's dinner, then after he had gone upstairs, snuck through the secret passage that leads from the library to the study. They found the Colonel, as expected, expired in his reading chair. They then locked the door, placed the note, and shot the Colonel, making the whole affair look like a suicide.
Please, Detective, this news is most distressing. I must have some air.
You will do no such thing, Miss Redgrave, because you are the murderer of your father, Colonel Bartholomew Redgrave.
Well done, Detective. You've solved the case quite nicely. Now, if you gentlemen would excuse me, I have a carriage to catch. Thank you for the wonderful evening of entertainment.
Thank you all for your patience. You are all free to leave.
Detective, one last question.
Yes, Mr. Fellows.
Why did she do it?
I found a letter in the Colonel's desk. It was from his soon-to-be wife, Emily Byron.
The Colonel? Married? Why did I hear nothing of it?
A late marriage is always a delicate affair, and for good reason. It appears Miss Redgrave found out. The marriage would have meant the loss of her inheritance, a prospect Miss Redgrave obviously didn't approve of.
Thank you, Detective.
Not at all. Good night. The stories hit the papers the next day. They told of murder and mystery at the Redgrave estate. The whole affair made me wonder, what good can come of it? Money, power, a plague if you ask me. The rich just leave bloody messes for the rest of us to clean up.
Маленький мальчик лимонку нашел и на занятия в школу пришел. И когда он чеку вырывал, песенку эту он напевал. Небо коптят поезда,